The 2015 to 2018 Moto Guzzi Stelvio 1200 NTX. Moto Guzzi looks to grab a slice of the adventure tour market with its Stelvio 1200 NTX. The factory aimed high on this model, with a 1151cc, 100-plus horsepower V-twin driving the ride. It followed up with adjustable suspension and electronic, engine management gadgetry that is comparable to some of the top adventure tour bikes available on the market today, making this Guzzi a serious contender for its share of the market. Continue reading for my review of the Moto Guzzi Stelvio 1200 NTX. Design. The fuel tank dominates the profile view, and it's not just a design trick. The Stelvio is a real camel with a massive 8.5-gallon fuel tank. Right now, it seems that nearly every major player in the EU and Asia has something for the dual-sport, adventure market, and even the once niche, adventure tour genre is starting to get crowded, so the designers had their work cut out for them. They compounded the pressure by naming the thing after a stretch of road in the Stelvio Pass, Italian Alps, long used as a proving ground and known by driving enthusiasts around the world. Presumptuous? Maybe, but we're fixin' to find out. In the dictionary next to adventure bike it says CMG Stelvio 1200, or at least it should. The overall panache is exactly what you'd expect in this genre. A new adjustable windshield crowns a new fairing that is barely deserving of the name, and is really more of an oversized housing for the side-by-side headlights and molded-in turn signals. From there, the fuel tank dominates the profile view, and it's not just a design trick. The Stelvio is a real camel with a massive 8.5-gallon fuel tank. Folks, that gives us quite a range for traveling in large interval fuel stop areas, and even turning to the off-road for far off-the-beaten-path adventures. Inverted front forks buoy the front end, and the front fender comes with molded-in splash guards to protect the swept area of the inner fork tube from grit and damage. Saddle height is adjustable between 32 and 33 inches tall, and the saddle comes with a dramatic taper at the front for a slim waist and easy ground access when standing. For me, adding the aluminum hard cases was an ace move that makes the Stelvio a good commuter and/or adventure tourer right out of the box. Of course, you can expand that with an accessory top case, but let's just stick with the standard trim package for the time being. A single analog clock displays the RPM, and an LCD screen displays the speed and other critical metrics for a fairly clean instrument cluster ahead of the rather flat handlebars. Riders on road and off will appreciate the brush guards that are handy as meat hook protectors and as windbreaks that help with riding in the cold. Although the stock version is set up for road work, a set of off-road tires is all it takes to transition to the brown, where the 8-1/4 inch ground clearance and 6+ inch suspension travel becomes muy importante. Chassis. We don't see enough adjustable suspension up front these days, so it's nice to see Guzzi embrace it for this adventuresome ride. MG opted for a steel frame in the twin-beam configuration as the foundation for the Stelvio. It isn't very light, but it is very strong, and built to withstand the forces of cornering as well as negotiating light terrain. A single side swing arm articulates the rear wheel and serves as a housing for the drive shaft. All very clean, compact, and leaves nothing to the imagination at the rear wheel from the left side, so you get a nice, unimpeded look at the off-road tastic-laced rim and hub. A monoshock supports the swing arm on a progressive linkage, and it comes with adjustable preload as well as rebound. The 45mm inverted front forks come with the entire trinity of adjustments with variable compression and rebound damping as well as spring preload. We don't see enough adjustable suspension up front these days, almost unforgivable considering all the available options, so it's nice to see Guzzi embrace it for this adventuresome ride. The front rim mounts a 19-inch hoop with a 17-inch tire in back, and the suspension gives up 6.69 inches and 6.1 inches of travel at the front and rear, respectively, so it ain't no supercross bike, but it will handle unimproved roads. A pair of 320mm discs and 4-pot, opposed piston calipers slow the front wheel, and a twin-pot caliper bites a 282mm disc to slow the rear. The Continental ABS comes as part of the standard equipment package, and it provides an extra layer of safety and protection that many riders have come to rely upon, and if you're one of the ones who doesn't lean on that crutch, or you want a little more control for some off-road work, you can turn the ABS off altogether. Drivetrain. Like the ABS, the ATC is switchable, so you can turn it off for some proper off-road jackassery. The oversquare mill runs a 95mm bore and 81.2mm stroke for a total of 1,151 cc, just a skosh shy of the advertised 1,200 cubes. MG mounts the 90-degree V-twin in the typical, transverse fashion, and although the heads peek out on both sides, they're nice and high. Plus, the factory thoughtfully threw on a set of crash bars that should protect the protruding engine parts in case you drop it, and that's a comforting thing on a bike that may well explore the much discussed and rarely seen far and wide. The mill runs 4 valve heads with a new grind, single overhead cam on timing duty, and although the factory touts a decreased level of noise from the valve train, it still makes a racket and is even more of a tractor than a Harley at idle as far as noise and vibration goes. MG's ATC traction control works as you'd expect. It reduces engine power when a speed differential is detected between the front and rear wheels. Like the ABS, the ATC is switchable, so you can turn it off for some proper off-road jackassery. The mill grinds out 83.3 pounds of grunt at 5,800 revolutions per minute, and backs that up with 103 horsepower at 7,250 revolutions per minute, plenty of oomph to qualify as a power something. A 6-speed transmixer sends power down the cardan shaft drive with a single-disc, anti-vibration clutch to make the connection to engine power. Induction control comes courtesy of a pair of 50mm throttle bodies with Weber IWP 189 injectors. Price. Available this year in red or green, MSRP is up just a bill. The stock Stelvio comes with a lot of goodies onboard, and this shows up on the sticker with a $16,190 MSRP. It's not a bad price for what you get, though it puts it on the higher side of the adventure market. Competition. Weighing price versus features, it's a toss-up. Buyers will decide what's more important to them. The adventure bike market is awash with adventuresome models, so I really had plenty of material from which to choose. Small wonder I was unable to really narrow it down to one, or even two, from the vast field. Instead, we're going to look at a handful of competitors, starting with the Tiger Explorer XR from Triumph. The Trumpet packs in some extra cubage with a 1,215cc triple against the Guzzi's 1,151cc twin. That size difference shows up in the performance figures with 139 ponies and 90 pounds from the Tiger and 103/83 from the Stelvio. Folks, that's definitely going to register on the Heine dyno. Trumpet packs on the goodies with ABS and traction control as part of the standard equipment package. Adjustable suspension also makes it onto the Brit, and Trumpet even manages to keep the price close at $16,200, just a skosh over the Guzzi's $16,190 sticker. Too bad the Tiger does not come with the hard bags off the floor like the Stelvio does, cuz that's going to add to the price offset. Next, the Kawasaki Versys 1000 LT seemed a likely model to visit. Displacement is a little lower at only 1043 cc, and so it only manages to generate 75.2 pounds of grunt against 83 from the Guzzi. Kawi leaves the traction control on the shelf, but does offer ABS if you want it. Engine control is about the only vanilla on the Versys. KYB suspension components give us adjustable preload and rebound damping plus 5.9 inches of travel at both ends. Unlike the Tiger, the Versys comes with quick connect hard bags for rapid reconfiguration, and thus, is a bit more trip-ready out of the box. Kawi picks up a sizable win at the checkout. A new Versys 1000 LT will set you back $12,999, quite a bit lower than the $16,190 Guzzi, and the lowest of the collected competitors. So, if you can live with a little less power and no traction control, the Versys comes out looking the better of the two. Of course, who could forget the Germans? Certainly not this rider. Beamer brings the champagne to the party with its R1200 GS Adventure. Displacement is close at 1,170 cc, and BMW runs its characteristic Boxer twin engine that's at least as iconic as MG's transverse mount, 90-degree V-twin. As one would expect, the Beamer has the superior performance with 125 ponies and 92 pounds of torque, and it comes with a shift assist feature that allows you to shift without pulling in the clutch or rolling off the throttle. This feature shows a bona fide racing streak that the MG lacks, reinforced by the adjustable suspension and powerful engine. Prices are close, with MG squeaking out a win just below the $16,495 sticker on the Beamer, and honestly, they are close across the board. He said, "Always a pleasure exploring MG products, and this one looks like it could be a fairly serious contender in a market full of fairly serious contenders." Honda's Africa Twin didn't make the competitors section but would be another comparable enough ride with a price tag low enough to be a real threat to the Stelvio 1200. August company, indeed. Seems like a job well done on this one, Guzzi. She said. My wife and fellow motorcycle rider, Alan Hinton, says, "You know, I never really paid attention to Moto Guzzi when it comes to adventure bikes. That was my mistake and shame on me for making it. The Stelvio 1200 NTX is an on-road-oriented adventure bike, but don't let that put you off. It's a very nice ride, comfortable with plush suspension and a nice seating position, and it just keeps on keeping on. I like that it isn't an angular looking as some of the other bikes in the adventure class." Specifications. References. Triumph Tiger Explorer XR. See our review of the Triumph Tiger Explorer XR. Kawasaki Versys 1000 Lieutenant. See our review of the Kawasaki Versys 1000 Lieutenant. BMW R1200 GS Adventure. See our review of the BMW R1200 GS Adventure.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.